Hey campers. Well, as you can see, no roof on the conservatory. That's the conservatory roofing guy's idea of weatherproofing the conservatory because they've forecast rain overnight. I'm not holding my breath. The front edge of that conservatory is held on by them opening the windows and closing the windows down on the tarp. Yeah, I honestly thought they were going to put scaffolding up and put a proper cover over it. But if that lets go under the weight of water, if it does rain tonight, they're going to flood the ground floor of my house because it's all open plan. Wonderful. Anyway, I'm just sat here by the pond and suddenly realised there's a few things that I need to catch up on. One was the moving bed experiment. If you remember, I took about half my moving bed media out. That is still working absolutely fine, even with the stocking quantities and the massive amounts of food I've been chucking in. 120 litres of K1, LX, all the different medias I've got in there, is absolutely smashing it. Yes, I have got a very big static bed, which will give some bio, but the main bio by the moving bed is absolutely fantastic. Not had a blip, no spikes in readings, nothing. So I just thought I'd update on that very quickly. The pond I just can't switch off. Things aren't as bad as they were. I'm not losing 3 or 4 fish a day. I lost one fry, one of the fry that escaped today. That had absolutely no marks on it, no signs of any bacterial infections or anything, no sunken eyes, no notched nose, nothing at all. So, I mean, that could just be a natural selection thing. I just don't know. I've got one fish that's disappeared that I cannot find anywhere. So it's going to be a waders on and check over the other side of the pond that I can't see very well, over by the rocks on the other side. I've got one fish that was looking decidedly unwell, who's actually starting to look a little bit better. He was sulking in the corner, bright red, not looking good at all, bright red fins. And he's out and okay, slowly swimming about and mixing with the others again, so hopefully he's turning a corner. I've got another fish that is looking decidedly unwell. He looks like he hasn't eaten in about 2 years. He's just painfully thin, massive head, and his body is just skinny as hell. But I was watching him earlier and he's eating, so not quite sure what's going on with him. Apart from that, everyone else is fine. The fry that has been up to 24-25 degrees in the heat spike. I've then been cooling it down in the evening to about between 16 and 18 degrees, then letting it heat up again during the day. I've been deliberately putting water out of the tap in with no dechlorinator, nothing, just to make it as uncomfortable for them as possible, try and stress them a bit. Nothing, not lost one fry at all, not lost one fish out of that tank at all. So as Paula said, if they get through this heat wave without you losing a single fish, then she's fairly confident that if it is KHV, that nothing is in that fry tank. So I'm going to take that as read. I'll be doing everything I can to stress them and try and bring it out. Nothing at all. Been leaving the filters longer, been feeding them heavily, been doing all sorts of stuff that I don't usually do, just to try and change the water a bit, make them a little bit more upset, shall we say. And nothing has done anything to have any losses in there at all, so I'm quite happy there. Everything that has been used in the main pond is going through a 3-day very heavy dose of CT soak, just to make sure there's nothing really on it. all the measuring bowls, all the nets, everything. I'm just going to literally blitz the lot. Once it's CT soaked for a couple of days, 2 or 3 days, I'll then probably bleach it, and then I'll probably get some Virkon S and do it with Virkon S as well, just to be sure. And then I will use one bowl. Well, it's not really a bowl; it's one of the plastic tubs for the main pond, and then I'll literally have everything totally separated for the fry tank. So everything will be completely separate. There'll be no crossover or anything, because I have used the measuring bowl in the main pond, and it's obviously dried out and been left until next time it's used, and then used it for fries. So another potential crossover, but it doesn't seem to have done that. So yeah, everything's looking good. I'm still not 100% convinced it is KHV. Obviously the only way of being 100% sure is to get a test done. And as Paula said to me, that is incredibly difficult to do if fish are carriers. So she actually said to me, I don't think there's anything I can actually do for you. So it's going to be a case of nature takes its course in the main pond, and I'm going to sit on the fry and see what happens. If the incubation period for KHV is a couple of weeks, so I'm going to sit on them for another few weeks and just be doubly sure that none of them start dying or anything like that. And I think if I can get them to sort of into September, I think we'll be okay on that front. Apart from that, I'm just trying to enjoy the pond. As someone said to me, it is what it is. You can't change it. It might be, it might not be. Just enjoy the pond, enjoy the fish you've got, and crack on and do what you usually do. So that's what I'm going to do, with a little bit more care that nothing crosses over. The sieve, I think I'm going to modify to make the screen a little less fine. Now that the main bulk of stuff is out and the sieve is catching up, it's bringing out more and more very, very fine stuff, and that's clogging the screen really quickly. I'm having to clean it about 3 times a day. So ideally I want to make that a little bit wider so that I'm not doing quite as much maintenance on it, and so it's not backing up so much. So yeah, I think we're going to try that. So I've just ordered some new mesh for it. That will take it to 0.35 of a mil, so still relatively small, less than half a millimetre. And that's where we're at. Total chaos with the conservatory. We've had to clear that out, move it all over the house. I've also got my niece and nephew staying for the week, and the kids are off school. So pretty packed, pretty crazy, lots of things going on, as well as I spent 4 hours in the hospital today getting poked and prodded about for a problem with one of my veins that they've now decided they're not going to operate on. So that was a waste of time. So yeah, everything else absolutely bang on. So I hope you're all enjoying your ponds. I hope any issues you have are swift and dealt with easily, and I'll catch up with you guys on the next one.